Hello and welcome back to Total Football Analysis's live coverage of the Premier League. As always, I'm your commentator, Harry Symeou, and I'm joined by a very, very special guest this evening. It's none other than Daniele Proch. Daniele, welcome to Total Football Analysis's live commentary for the first time. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Harry. How's it going? Very excited to join it today.
Good. We're excited to have you as well. And it's a huge, huge game that we're covering for you this evening. It's the Merseyside derby between Everton and Liverpool. A game normally full of passionate support. But of course, we are playing the games behind closed doors at the moment. It's just the way it's going to be, Daniele, for a little while. What have you made of it so far? Have you gotten used to it yet?
I don't know. The fake crowded noise kind of helps a little bit. It's kind of sad to not have the usual 40,000 fans at Goodison Park, but at the end of the day, it's a football game, and I'm sure we're all gonna enjoy it.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. It has been strange, without having the fans there, but it is something that we're going to have to get used to, at least for the short term, because it's just one of those things that we need to do. People have been losing their lives. It's a really, really serious issue. So we are glad, for one thing, to have football back at least. How are things in the States at the moment?
Yeah, they're not looking too good, honestly. The protests have caused spikes in the number of cases because people have been getting together on the street. But it's a little worrying because you see people kind of. It looks like people have forgotten about it, and that's not good because obviously that doesn't help with containing the spread. At the same time, sports are trying to come back. We ourselves in the second division, the USL, we will be back July 11th. Hopefully, we there won't be any problems. We're gonna get tested, and hopefully everybody can stay safe.
Yeah, of course. That is the priority, isn't it? We want to make sure that everybody is safe, first and foremost. If you're watching us via the Total Football Analysis YouTube channel, then don't forget to head over to the Hot Mic app. You can join us there, and that way you can sync our commentary with your television pictures. If you haven't downloaded it already, please do so with the promo code TFA2020, and that will set you up to join us for all future broadcasts. If you give us a follow as well, that way you'll get a notification every time we go live. A big hello to those of you watching us via the Hot Mic app. You know how it works by now, I'm sure, and we hope we can bring you entertaining yet informative commentary of this evening's games. Around about 6-7 minutes till kickoff. Daniele, let's run through the two starting 11s. First of all, we're going to start with the hosts, Everton. It's Jordan Pickford in goal. It's a back four of Seamus Coleman, Michael Keane, Mason Holgate and Lucas Digne. And then across the midfield, it's Anthony Gordon making his first Premier League start for the Toffees, with Andre Gomez, Tom Davis and Alex Iwobi. And then up front, it's Richarlison providing support to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Daniele, who are you looking out for in that Everton side? Carlo Ancelotti, an Italian manager, somebody with an incredible record behind him. He's got a big job here at Everton, but are you expecting him to try and nullify Liverpool's attack tactically this evening?
So, like you said, Ancelotti has been doing very well. Since taking over the team, he's got the fourth best record in the league, and I think that Everton will begin by taking a cautious approach. I don't think they don't want to get too exposed to Liverpool's counters, especially if they keep in mind what happened in the previous fixture this season when Everton got destroyed at Anfield. So I think they're gonna base their offensive plays on crossing. They are the fourth most the team that crosses they rank fourth in crosses in the league. So I think that those two guys on top, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, will attack the spaces from the crosses, and yeah, they have to try to stay in the game because Liverpool can really put it to bed very early, and that's not what Ancelotti wants.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at Liverpool's team. It's Alisson in goal. It's a back four of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joel Matip, Virgil van Dijk. And at left back this evening, it's James Milner. There's no place for Andrew Robertson in the squad this evening. We understand he's nursing a little bit of a problem, and that is why he is unavailable for Jurgen Klopp's side this evening. Across the midfield, it's Naby Keita, Fabinho, and Jordan Henderson, with Takumi Minamino, Sadio Mane, and Roberto Firmino leading the line for the visitors. Of course, Liverpool, if they win this evening, they need just one more win to guarantee they will become champions for the first time since the 1989-1990 season. Of course, if Manchester City were to lose in the coming days, then the title would be won already. But it's crazy, isn't it, Daniele, to think that a club the size of Liverpool haven't won the Premier League ever for 30-odd years. It's crazy.
It is crazy, and I was a little scared when the virus came. I was a little scared that they would cancel the season, and it's just crazy thinking about what it would have happened if, after having dominated the season for 7 months, if Liverpool hadn't had a chance to actually win the title, that would have been very, very disappointing. But I'm looking forward to what Minamino has to offer today on that right wing side. And also, I'm looking forward to seeing Milner again on that left back role. He's obviously a player with a lot of confidence, very reliable. But when you attack down the left flank, it's not the same when you don't have a left-footed player. So we'll see how will that play out.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the two substitutes benches as well for Everton. It's Leighton Baines, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Bernard, Martin Stecklenburg, Moise Kean, Kuko Martina, João Virginia, Jarrad Branthwaite, and Benny Banigamine. On the Liverpool bench, it's Jorginho Wijnaldum, Dejan Lovren, Mohamed Salah, Joseph Gomez, Joe Gomez that is, Adrian, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Divock Origi, Harvey Elliott, and Neco Williams. And of course, teams are allowed 9 substitutes on their benches nowadays due to the alteration to the rules for coping with COVID-19 and the fact that players have been out for so long. You are allowed to make 5 substitutions now, but you can only do it across 3 windows, which is interesting and something that I didn't actually know until yesterday. That we've seen the players just in the centre circle gathering around now. They're going to be holding a minute's silence for those who have fallen victim to this horrible virus, and of course to those who have been putting themselves on the front line and protecting everybody else. The National Health Service workers here in the UK deserve a lot of praise. So we're going to observe that minute's silence. So you're going to get some radio silence from us for just a minute or so. The minute silence is over. The teams are getting prepared to kick off. Everton, of course, in their famous blue shirts, white shorts and white socks, and Liverpool wearing their traditional all-red kit as normal in the Merseyside derby. There's no colour clash when these two teams take to the field. Mike Dean is the man in charge. I think we're going to have the taking of the knee as well from the players before we get fully underway. We're just waiting to see. But I fully expect that to take place. Liverpool coming ever closer to their first ever Premier League title. They're closing in on it. Probably won't be able to have the title party they would have hoped, but nonetheless, it'll still be a huge achievement for them. Just see Sadio Mane there. I think he missed the point and made a run on the left flank. I don't know if you saw that, Daniele.
I did not see that. Was he sprinting?
He sprinted off on that left-hand side. We're underway at Goodison Park. It's Everton versus Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. Liverpool looking to go one step closer towards their first Premier League title. Sadio Mane just caught out there. Interesting to see. 19 seconds on the clock for those of you who are using the manual synchronization feature. Here is Naby Keita, plays the ball forward. Back with Jordan Pickford, though, in the Everton goal. Here's Alex Iwobi, the former Arsenal man, in possession for Everton. Finds Seamus Coleman at right back. Don't forget, if you're watching us via the Total Football Analysis YouTube channel, please do head over to the Hot Mic app. That way you can synchronize our commentary with your television pictures. Here is Sadio Mane on the left-hand side for Liverpool. Pass cut out by Keane. It's now with Coleman. Twisting and turning, and Mane concedes a throw-in. Everton attacking from right to left as you watch on your television screens. Liverpool from left to right. Coleman takes the throw-in. It's towards Iwobi. Flicks it on. Here he is in possession now. Hooks it up in the air. Back towards his own defence, and Holgate guides it back towards Jordan Pickford. He's got it in his arms now. Liverpool pressing very high up the pitch so far, Daniele.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying that Everton is trying to play out of the back. That's a great sign of courage. Even if there's no fans, I think that they want to hold up to the standard of being at home, and so approach the game without fear.
Here's a question for you, Daniele. This is something that myself and Lee were discussing the other evening, and as a pro footballer yourself, you will have a better understanding of this. When coaches insist, I guess, on their defence playing out from the back, does not having fans in the stadium make that easier to implement? Because you don't get that pressure, do you? You know, fans tend to feel nervous when you try and play out from the back. Without them being there, does that allow teams to do that a little bit more freely?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if you play away, it is harder. At the same time, if you make a mistake, fans may boo you, or you could hear the sound of
the groans.
Yeah, exactly, of the warring sound from the fans, and that does not help. So, in a way, I think that it helps you stay calm on the ball, stay composed. So we'll see if that will actually help Everton.
We will indeed. The ball's with Jordan Pickford now after Trent Alexander-Arnold's cross was deflected into his arms. England goalkeeper will take his time for launching it forward. Only as far as Fabinho, though, heads it back. Fabinho will get on the ball again. This time he's headed it straight into the path of Richarlison. Here comes the Brazilian. Looks to shift it onto his left foot. Fires it low across the goal. It's still in play. Looks like it's going to hit the corner flag, but James Milner will keep it in. First sight of goal from either side. Good effort from Richarlison. Did everything right from the textbook, I guess. Daniele went across the goalkeeper. Kept it low, kept it hard.
Good move. He let the ball slide across his left foot, just enough to have that window to fire. A little unlucky that because he hit it with his inside, and the ball tended to flow toward the corner flag. But good try for sure.
Comes from a mistake from Liverpool, and Richarlison just popping up in that left-hand channel. He drives it low. I think Alisson may have got a touch to it. Just watching the replay, certainly gets something on it.
Yeah, it looks like he's got his fingertips on it. So good save.
Absolutely. 4 minutes played here. Everton 0, Liverpool 0. Everton not here just to make up the numbers. It is a Merseyside derby after all. And they would love to spoil, well, at least, I'm not saying they're going to deny Liverpool the title, but they'd like to make it a little bit more difficult for them along the way. There's no doubt about that. Here is Joel Matip in towards Firmino. Looks to flick it round the corner, but Everton have it back with Alex Iwobi here. Here's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Challenge from Fabinho. It's a foul. Don't think he can have any complaints about that.
Good shielding. With this foul, he allows his team to come up the field. So good, smart move by Calvert-Lewin.
It's so important, isn't it, when you're, I guess, the underdog and you spend a lot of the time sort of sunk deep in your own half, that you have a forward who can hold the ball for those few seconds to allow the rest of the team to get up the pitch.
Yeah, Harry, drawing fouls is so important, especially when you're when you play against teams like Liverpool who put you under so much pressure. If you receive the ball, you can hold it up and wins foul. That just allows your team, to come up, breathe, and restructure.
Indeed, as Michael Keane gave the ball away there, he was fortunate that the deflection off Roberto Firmino made it impossible for him to control the ball. Gone out for an Everton goal kick, let off there for either side so far, actually. Everton looking to play out from the back, as you mentioned, putting themselves under a lot of pressure here, though, as the ball breaks on this right-hand side for Liverpool. It's hooked away by Lucas Digne. Here's Fabinho now. In towards Firmino, but the pass was a poor one. Everton have it back now. Anthony Gordon, of course, with his first Premier League start for the Toffees. What a game to get your first Premier League start in.
Oh, for sure. He's going to have to show that he's up for it. He was born in 2001, so he's only 19 years old.
My God,
that
makes me feel old. Here is Davis. And Digne swipes it with his left foot across the pitch. Michael Keane will pick it up for Everton. Here's Seamus Coleman now. Plays it, but it's cut out by Sadio Mane. Firmino looks to flick it on. Back comes Davis to get a foot in, and he's won a free kick for his team as well. Six minutes and 45 seconds on the clock for those of you using the manual synchronization feature. Don't forget, if you're watching us via YouTube, you can join us on the Hot Mic app, and you can sync our commentary with your television pictures. If you haven't signed up to the app already, please do so using the promo code TFA2020. And why not check out Total Football Analysis' weekly magazine. Here's Dominic Calvert-Lewin in behind here for Everton. 1-on-1 with Virgil van Dijk. Lays it off to Iwobi, who made the run forward. Is it going to break for Iwobi? Appeals for a handball, but it was against Alex Iwobi. And Liverpool, I think, are going to have a free kick as a result.
Good run by Calvert-Lewin behind the Liverpool defensive line that opened up space, and Everton almost got a goal scoring opportunity there.
Here is Joel Matip. Comfortable in possession, under no pressure whatsoever. Everton are happy to allow Liverpool to have the ball in these areas, right?
Yeah, they have to stay compact. They can't expose. They can't allow too much space in between lines. Otherwise, Liverpool is going to thrive on using that space. So the 4-4-2 is a great formation for Everton to congest those spaces and stay close between one another.
Here's Mane on the left, plays Firmino in. He cuts it back across the penalty area. There was Mason Holgate with an important interception, and Liverpool have a throw-in on that far side now. As a result, James Milner will take it. Firmino's come out towards the corner flag to receive it, but was unable to keep a hold of possession and concedes a throw-in.
It's almost as if the throw-in didn't even get into the pitch.
Yeah, it sort of came on and went straight back off again, which is always strange. And I'm sure they'll be noticing the lack of fans, more so at Goodison Park than at other grounds, because if you look at the side of the pitch, they really are on top of the players here. Here is Gordon. Dispossessed. Liverpool come forward with Minamino in this inside right channel. Fires at goal. It was wide, and it was always rising from Takumi Minamino. But interesting to see him take up that position in the half space there.
Yeah, and Gordon, young player, he can't lose that kind of ball. It's too dangerous, as Everton is coming up with all their lines. If you lose a ball there, then there is a big risk that your defensive line is unprepared, and Liverpool got a good chance off of it.
Don't forget, guys, you can leave your questions as well in the live chat box, and we'll come to as many of those as we possibly can later on during the broadcast. Here's Jordan Pickford under pressure from Sadio Mane. Hooks it clear in the end, though. Dominic Calvert-Lewin again putting his body on the line for Everton. Liverpool managed to get things back under control. Here's Alisson in possession now inside Liverpool's penalty area. Joel Matip, who's just pulled slightly to the right-hand side here to receive the ball. Goes back to Alisson. Virgil van Dijk receives it. Back out to Matip. Looking for an option, Joel Matip. In the end, he goes for Roberto Firmino, who dropped that little bit deeper just to receive the ball. He does that so well. Here is Sadio Mane into Fabinho. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold. Henderson. Inside to Minamino. Lets it run. Lovely link-up play with Roberto Firmino. Eventually, Everton hook it clear. But Richarlison, in his attempts to get in front of his man there, I think has conceded a free kick. He's mystified as to how that's happened. Mike Dean is pretty sure, though.
Well, I really thought it was a foul in Everton's favor.
Yeah, so did I. I thought that Richarlison got his body in front there, therefore to draw the foul. But it looks like Mike Dean has seen that very differently, and this could be crucial.
Exactly, and that's key when for the two strikers have to be outlets, and like we said before, in this case, put your body in front of the incoming pressure to either hold up the play or draw a foul. In this case, I think he did a good job, but the referee saw it the other way.
He did indeed. Trent Alexander-Arnold stands over the free kick with Henderson as he dinks it towards that far post, but nobody had gambled, nobody made the run. As a striker, Daniele, that must infuriate you, seeing nobody popping up at the far post there.
Absolutely, that is frustrating because you are there, you're playing with the line, trying to stay on side, trying to make double movements to separate yourself from your marker. And when the ball is delivered to no one, you really feel like you have wasted a great opportunity.
Everton, again, having 3 defenders inside their own penalty area when taking goal kicks. We often see 2. The 3 is a little bit less common, I'd say.
Yeah, and I can see what they're trying to do. So by attracting Liverpool's pressure high up the field, they're trying to isolate the 2 strikers, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, with the 2 center backs of Liverpool, Van Dijk and Matip. Obviously, in that case, the biggest challenge is winning the first aerial duel. But otherwise, if they manage to get the ball, then they're pacey strikers, so they can create some trouble up there.
Absolutely, Richarlison full of trickery, Calvert-Lewin full of industry, really hard-working player, really strong physical player as well. And he receives a bit of criticism, doesn't he, from time to time about maybe not being as clinical as he should be, but you can never fault his effort, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and like you said, hard-working players are, especially in today's football, they're more modern strikers. They help a lot the team defensively and offensively. And at the end of the day, he's got 13 goals, so you can say whatever you want. He's the top scorer for Everton, and I think 6th in the league for goals.
That's right, a significant improvement on his return last season. We've got a couple of questions, Daniele, coming through. We're going to leave those till half-time, guys, but keep them coming, and we'll pick up as many of those as we possibly can during the break. Here's Takumi Minamino, lays it off to Fabinho now, goes back out to this right-hand side. Lovely interchanging play there, but Trent Alexander-Arnold's pass towards Jordan Henderson was a little overhit. As a result, Jordan Pickford has the ball in his hands again.
And good work by Digne, tracking back that run. Even if Henderson had gotten a hold of the ball, he would have had problems turning because Digne was right behind him.
That's right. Here is Digne inside towards Andre Gomez. Unable to gather it, but in truth, the pass wasn't a good one. Firmino escapes the attentions of the Portuguese midfielder. Minamino looks to let it run. But Everton managed to hook it clear once again. Just signs that Liverpool are starting to push Everton back. They're starting to trap them in their own sort of defensive third.
Everton have to be careful with those horizontal passes because they are the easiest to intercept, and for Liverpool to break, that's just a chocolate. If Liverpool intercepts that, then they just get off. They hit the gas pedal, and good luck catching them.
Right, here is Takumi Minamino taking up a more central position just temporarily. Matip lays it off to Jordan Henderson. To Trent Alexander-Arnold. Henderson again. unbeaten in his last 14 Merseyside derbies, Jordan Henderson. Milner coming from left back. And Milner is a capable deputy, Daniele, but you just lose that natural flow. We'll come back to this in a minute as Everton comes steaming forward with Richarlison, Henderson tracking him all the way back. Now he's got Milner for company as well. Finds Iwobi, he's done well. Richarlison there to get his team up the field. The Brazilian takes a touch. Davis, now Andre Gomez. Finds Lucas Digne on this left-hand side. Delivers left-footed. Poor delivery though. Gone behind Alisson's goal. Liverpool can breathe a sigh of relief. I was just going to say, Daniele, you know, as good as James Milner is and as versatile as James Milner is, it just disrupts that natural flow of Liverpool's attack when they do shift the ball to that left-hand side and there's a right footer having to take that extra touch.
Exactly. Because he's right-footed, there is the risk that he doesn't stay as wide as a left-footed fullback will be able to do, like Robertson. So by not staying wide, he may make the field smaller, which makes it easier for Everton to press, right? Because there is less space to attack from a defensive standpoint.
That's right. Here is Virgil van Dijk. What a difference he's made this Liverpool side since his arrival from Southampton in January 2018. Long ball forward towards Mane. The ball breaks to Firmino. Here's Minamino. Now Henderson. Alexander-Arnold with a clever ball into that half space. Minamino looks to drive it across the penalty area. Blocked. It will come to Henderson now. Alexander-Arnold will get another stab at it. It's a good delivery towards the far post. Jordan Pickford gathers it. 17 minutes on the dot played here at Goodison Park. It's Everton 0, Liverpool 0. Who will be the happier of the two managers, Daniele, so far?
I would say Carlo Ancelotti, because I think that his side is interpreting the game well, except for a couple of passes that were not accurate. I think they're keeping the lines compact and not conceding too much. And they're gonna try to go straight for those two for the two strikers, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. And like we said, so far the best chance was from Richarlison's shot with his left foot. So if they keep this game plan, I think they can be successful.
No reason why they can't. We've seen, lots of teams, come back from this break a little bit sluggish at the start. None more so than my team, Arsenal, who have come back in a terrible run of form. Here's Alexander-Arnold, plays it inside to Henderson. Naby Keita into Sadio Mane. To Firmino, looking for Mane again, but Seamus Coleman was alert to it and he hooks it clear. Matip gets ahead to it. It'll come to Iwobi though.
It's a tough battle, isn't it? The one with the two center back of Liverpool, when these long balls are cleared out of Everton's box. It is tough to get your head on top of Van Dijk and Matip.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is. Here is Naby Keita. Not quite lived up to the billing since he joined Liverpool, but signs that he's getting back to something like his best. Of course, injuries have disrupted his progress on Merseyside. Here's Richarlison doing some great work for Everton there. Iwobi will pick it up. Milner gets a foot in and concedes a throw-in. Richarlison's gone down, not happy with the challenge, and this is the first yellow card of the game shown to James Milner there. You see Richarlison carrying the ball. He's done really, really well there. Milner comes across. It's not, I don't know. He certainly comes in with his body. There's no intent to get the ball, in my opinion. Just looking to block the player off.
Exactly. Great work by Richarlison. Determined. He won 2 tackles in a row. Got a foul for his team. He can come up the field. And a yellow card for Milner, which means that now he can exploit that by attacking him in 1v1 situations. Milner cannot foul because obviously he's on a yellow. So let's see if he's trying to exploit that right wing even more.
For sure. And taking him on the outside would be advisable, given that he is so right-footed, James Milner. You'd be, putting him in a really, really difficult situation. Well, he'll almost naturally want to tackle with his right leg, and then going across with the wrong foot can often be problematic. Here's Takumi Minamino, but the flag's gone up. Be an Everton free kick. Difficult as a defender, isn't it, when you're playing on the wrong side? Milner may have some problems going forward now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think that could be one of the keys for Everton to break down Liverpool's defense.
That's right. And I'm going to address most of the questions at half time, guys, but there's one coming in from Danny M, and I'm going to give my take on it and then invite Daniele to share his just after this move breaks down. And Andre Gomez plays it out to this right-hand side. Can Alex Iwobi keep it in? No, he can't. The question is, how does Minamino playing instead of Salah change Liverpool's attack? He seems to drift centrally a lot. I don't know about you, Daniele, but for me, that's purely because he is a right-footed player, whereas Salah, being left-footed, will want to pull onto the touchline, won't he, so that he can receive the ball with space inside to drive into. I just think it's just purely down to the difference in one being a right-footed player and one being a left-footed player. Do you agree?
Yeah, and I also want to see more from Minamino about this game before making any conclusions. I'm really curious to see the directions are from Klopp, and like you said, it's harder when you play on if you're a right-footed winger and you play on the right flank. It's harder to receive and engage because when you're gonna 1v1, you tend to go towards the outside, right? Because that's your predominant foot that you want to strike with. So we'll see if he is still able to attack those central areas, which is from obviously a position where it's easier to score a goal.
That's right. Here is Virgil van Dijk in position now for the visitors. Naby Keita. Milner's pass intercepted by Coleman. Mane does well to get a foot in there and concede a throw-in. Going to have the first drinks break. Wonder if this is something we're going to see going forward until the end of the season. I know that it's been talked about for the restart, because obviously the fitness being an issue and they're taking care of the players. But what are your thoughts on drinks breaks? Because for me, this is England. This is not, Spain in the middle of the summer. I understand why they're doing it in La Liga, but in the Premier League, the other night they did it at Manchester City, a rainy night in Manchester, and we need to stop for a drinks break. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah,
it's probably to try to keep the level and the intensity high by giving the players another minute and a half to hydrate and organize. Hopefully, there is a risk that it disrupts a little bit the flow of the game, but if players can take a breath there, maybe the remaining 20 minutes will be they will be able to keep up the intensity.
We shall see if we get the benefit from it as the players make way back to their positions. So we're going to resume play here. When you see the way sort of the players are sort of slowly walking back into position, it could be something that managers could exploit. Catching somebody off guard after a drinks break is not out of the realms of possibility.
Yeah, there is the risk of switching off mentally when you take these cooling breaks, but that comes down to the players being focused, being in the zone. So as a coach, I would be very disappointed if someone would just snap out of the game because of a cooling break.
Yeah, you could use it as an opportunity if you're being marked by someone to swap almost, and that can cause confusion. So there is lots of elements to this new style of football that we're seeing at the moment. More substitutions, cooling breaks, a very different game to the one that was stopped back in March. Balls with Alisson now for Liverpool. Short goal kick out to Trent Alexander-Arnold, plays it down the line towards Minamino. Mason Holgate had come with him. And
You just saw what the struggle is between about having a right winger playing on the right. In this case, it's harder to shield the ball because he would have to shield it with his left to keep the defender, the Digne in this case, away. He lost control of the ball in this case. But obviously, if you're a left-footed player, you can just put the weight on your right leg, control the ball with your left, and maybe keep your right arm long and extended to keep Digne away.
yeah, great point. Here is Digne. He's going to take the throw in for the hosts into Richarlison, who's come short to receive it. Followed well by Takumi Minamino. Everton have another throw in. Lucas Digne will take it again. Time into Andre Gomez. Sweeps the ball with his right foot towards Michael Keane. Now Seamus Coleman will bring it forward for the Toffees. Carlo Ancelotti's men currently holding the champions to be. Pretty sure of that. When it will be, we don't quite know yet. But a victory here for Liverpool take them a significant step closer. All driven out towards this left-hand side towards Lucas Digne. Had made the move forward from Mason Holgate, but it was a poor pass in the end.
It was a good run by Gordon. He would have been in a great position to engage Alexander-Arnold in a 1v1.
Alexander-Arnold's throwing. Naby Keita on the ball now. Forward towards Firmino. Holgate gets his head to it. Clash between Davis and Mane there. Looked like Mike Dean was going to blow there, but he didn't. Assuming he's allowed an advantage to go, although he didn't make the gesture that referees do when they give an advantage. But then Mike Dean is not your typical referee. Here is Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It was quite a tough challenge by Davis, but Mane got up right away, so hopefully nothing too bad for him.
I think he almost pulled out of it right at the end as well. It looked as though it was on a collision course, but you just see him just slightly withdraw from it. And I think Mane withdrew from it as well, and that's why he's come out of it unaffected. Some challenges are just not worth it, Daniele.
Exactly. Especially now with VAR, if you keep your studs up, you're not going to get away with it.
That's right. Here's Alexander-Arnold on the ball now. Matip inside to Naby Keita. Virgil van Dijk will step into the midfield, lays it off for Mane. 1-2 with Keita. Mane towards Minamino. It's a loose pass. It's picked up by Everton, but they lose it immediately. And another wave of red attack will come in the direction of Jordan Pickford's goal. Good work from Digne there to dispossess Minamino, but Everton just can't keep the ball at the moment. That's going to be a real problem for them, isn't it?
Yeah, like we just said, when Everton wins the ball back, they have to complete quality passes. In that case, we just saw Gordon try to slip. I think it was Colin Lewin behind the line, but the pass with the outside of the foot was poor, and that puts Everton again under pressure, which you don't want, because with time that's gonna tear you down. It's gonna get you fatigued. So when they do get a hold of the ball, they have to keep it with quality and cleverly.
Right. Opportunity here for Liverpool to get the ball in the penalty area. 29 minutes played on the dot. For those of you using the manual synchronization feature, Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to deliver this ball into the penalty area. It looks like anyway. James Milner standing there alongside him.
12 assists so far for Alexander-Arnold in the season. Let's see if he gets his 13th.
Certainly got a wonderful delivery on him. Delivers it right-footed. It's met by the head of Joel Matip, but he couldn't direct it goalwards. That'll go down as an opportunity, though, for the Liverpool defender.
Yeah, majestic there, Matip, in going up, but not a good impact on the ball. I think he almost hit it with his nose. That's why he wasn't able to deflect it toward the goal.
Everton with a bit of a let-off there, you could argue.
And we see that Everton now switched, I guess, their game plan, because we saw Pickford kicking the ball long. So maybe that's part of the plan of being unpredictable.
Yeah, they need to show some variety in their game in order to make sure that they can stay in this game for as long as possible. Liverpool, of course, have lost just once this season. That defeat at Watford, the heavy defeat at Watford, showing you just how difficult it is to go a season unbeaten in this Premier League. Because I don't think that was a game that anybody mapped out as one that Liverpool would end up slipping up in.
Oh yeah, going undefeated is almost an impossible task. I remember Juventus doing that under Conte when they won the league about I think it was 2013. But like you said, it's very hard.
Ball delivered into the penalty area. Richarlison gets ahead to it just over. Alisson's goal lands on the roof of the net, but it's a half chance for Everton. Just a reminder to Jurgen Klopp that this Everton side carry a threat of their own. May have just strayed offside there, Richarlison, but
Yeah, he was offside, but he did well at unmarking, because
just lost Daniele there temporarily, but I'm sure we'll get him back at any minute. Here is Andre Gomez. Free kick goes Everton's way. Just lost Daniele. We're just getting him back on the line. Here he is. We've got him back. The internet, Daniele?
yeah, it was the internet. Yep, back on it.
Great stuff. Apologies for that minor breakup in the sound. It's the world of technology that we're currently living in.
It's flawed, isn't it?
It is, and in lockdown, it's even more difficult for us because we are so reliant on it at the moment. We're just seeing a replay of that challenge on Richarlison from Virgil van Dijk. You can see why the Brazilian was unhappy with that.
It's causing a lot of trouble with his movements. You can tell that he's been very unpredictable, and he's drawing fouls. So very, very good stuff for him so far.
Here's Jordan Henderson coming forward for Liverpool. Ball into Mane. Lays it off to Firmino. He's got Keita on the outside. Firmino goes for goal. He's dragged that just wide of Jordan Pickford's left-hand post.
Wow, what a chance. Firmino had a lot of time to prepare the shot, but he hit the ball on top of it almost, because the ball got squeezed into the ground and rolled back awkwardly.
It's not a clean strike at all. It isn't a clean strike, is it?
It wasn't, which is weird, because he did have the time to prepare the strike properly.
Never scored against Everton, Roberto Firmino. Or at least not in his 9 previous attempts.
And there is a guy on the bench for Liverpool who loves scoring against Everton. That's Origi. He's got Origi has 7 goals so far in 5 goals in 7 games against Everton in all competitions.
That is some record, and you just see Richarlison getting involved with Jordan Henderson there. Richarlison's not happy with what he perceives to be some poor treatment from some of those Liverpool players. Roberto Firmino does have a far superior record on the road for Liverpool, though, than he does at home. There's 8 league goals away from home for the Reds this season. Here is Naby Keita to Mane. appeals for a foul, nothing given. Seamus Coleman comes away with the ball for Everton. He's released Alex Iwobi on this right-hand side. Lovely skips inside. Iwobi plays it into the new boy. It comes to Richarlison, fires it towards goal. By the new boy, I mean Anthony Gordon. Lovely layoff from him. Unfortunately, for the Toffees, the move broke down. Here come Liverpool now with an attack of their own. Jordan Henderson looks towards that far post towards Alexander-Arnold, who'd made a run just diagonally into the corner of Everton's penalty area. He'll take a throw in now after the ball was cleared. Here is Joel Matip, plays it inside to Virgil van Dijk. Long ball forward towards Sadio Mane, but Michael Keane and Mason Holgate, they'll be happy with that type of pass coming in, won't they? They'll prefer that, having to deal with it aerially rather than getting involved in a foot race with the likes of Sadio Mane.
Exactly. As long as the ball comes up in the air, they are comfortable with it. The trouble is when Liverpool front three players combine on the ground with speed and with quality. That's where it gets tough for Everton center backs to defend.
That's right. Here is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Ball end up going out harmlessly for an Everton goal kick. They've done pretty well so far, the hosts. 37 minutes played almost.
They're doing very well at congesting that space behind the defensive line. Again, Alexander tried to play that ball, but Henderson gave up on the run because it was congested.
Here is Lucas Digne at left back, plays it forward. Comes Anthony Gordon looking for Richarlison, who'd made that run sort of diagonally across the penalty area. He's just gesturing to the young man that he wanted it played a little bit earlier. The idea was the right one.
It was, and good defending by Van Dijk, staying with his man and clearing the ball out of bounds.
Here is Digne. Anthony Gordon just shielding the ball from Trent Alexander-Arnold there, but I think the flag's gone up. Just straight into an offside position there.
A little lazy from the young man there because he had the time to reposition himself and stay in line with Liverpool's defensive line.
Not really an excuse for being caught offside when you can see right across the line as well from that wide position. Of course, it's a little bit more difficult when you're playing through the middle. Got two sides to check. Here is Sadio Mane, brought down and wins a free kick for Liverpool. Taken short. Trent Alexander-Arnold would dink it in towards the penalty area. Nobody again was on the same page as the England right back, and Everton have a goal kick as a result.
It was a good idea. Everton was not ready for it, but it looked like Liverpool as well was not ready for it.
Seeing Everton have switched this goal kick thing up, haven't they? They've gone from having three men inside their penalty area to two, and in different positions now as well.
And that could be something that Ancelotti said during the water break.
Yep.
Maybe he switched the game plan to add unpredictability to Everton's game.
Here's Richarlison coming down this right-hand side for Everton, one-on-one with Virgil van Dijk. Fabinho gets a foot in there. Richarlison goes down and Liverpool come away with possession. Carlo Ancelotti's got a pretty good record against Liverpool in recent times, particularly when he was at Napoli in the Champions League. Michael Keane takes out Sadio Mane there, and that's the first yellow card for an Everton player so far. He can have absolutely no complaints there. Michael Keane, he's literally taken out Sadio Mane there.
Yeah, he's late, but it's a good foul. Mane was picking up speed, and he's still uh, quite far from the goal. So it's not too far, but I think it was a good idea to get a yellow card and just stop Mane's run with a sliding tackle.
Tactical foul, no doubt. A couple of Liverpool players standing over it again. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the one placing the ball. Jordan Henderson's there, as is James Milner, slightly to their right. Henderson dummies it. Alexander-Arnold fires towards goal. It's a good save from Pickford, and he managed to gather the loose ball afterwards. The save he should make, though. Just looked like it took a slight deflection, did it?
Not too powerful of a shot, so definitely a save that Pickford has to make.
That's right. Here is Keane. So Iwobi plays it down the line. Calvert-Lewin will hold it up for Everton, but it's been forced back. Andre Gomez going into the challenge with Henderson there. Henderson got a toe to the ball. Concedes a throw in. Liverpool look like they're preparing a substitution. James Milner's down at the moment. He's got a problem. Looks like a muscle strain, judging by his reaction. Joe Gomez is the man who looks like he's going to come on to replace him.
Yeah, it's never easy when you come off of a 3-month break, getting up to speed and picking up the rhythm again. Your muscles can suffer from it, and that's probably why we see Milner leaving the field with an injury.
First substitution of the game, then James Milner makes way for Joe Gomez. You can see the disappointment on James Milner's face. He knows that feels like a muscle strain by the looks of it, which could rule him out for a few weeks. Could rule him out for whatever game it is that Liverpool end up clinching the title, if indeed Manchester City don't gift them it after this fixture.
And we know how tough of a guy he is. So if he pulls out of the game, that must be a real muscle injury.
Yeah, that's right. Here is Joel Matip. Henderson. Back to Matip. You often see that, don't you? The Liverpool centre-backs split really far apart. You get Henderson dropping into that little pocket, which allows Trent Alexander-Arnold to take up a more advanced position on the right-hand side.
Correctly, they form the U shape with Henderson dropping in, Alexander-Arnold pushing up the field, and in this case we see Minamino coming inside and to try to take up that half space and possibly turn after receiving a good pass from either Henderson or Alexander-Arnold.
Here is Alexander-Arnold, all inside, picked up by Keita. To Firmino, gets it back. Keita, he gets it back from Minamino now as well. Finds Sadio Mane inside the Everton penalty area. Cuts it back across the penalty area. Minamino on the turn. Shot blocked by Holgate. Liverpool managed to regain possession though, with Virgil van Dijk on the halfway line for the Reds. Joel Matip will bring the ball forward. Finds Alexander-Arnold on the right. Back inside to Fabinho. He's got time to get it under control and lay it off to Jordan Henderson. Gomez getting his first couple of touches on the ball, having replaced James Milner. Here's Matip. Steps inside, but he's under pressure there from Anthony Gordon. Fabinho. Firmino will chase this ball in behind. Mason Holgate comes across from his central defensive position to deal with that. Some pictures there on your screens of James Milner icing what looks like it's probably a hamstring problem.
Good defensive intervention by Holgate, but I'm surprised that he didn't decide to shield that ball and let it run out of bounds.
Yeah, you're right. Would have made more sense.
Unless he saw a deflection from his teammate, which we couldn't see from the TV.
Possibly. Here's Jordan Henderson on his team a throw-in on this right-hand side off of Lucas Digne. 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Made 40 seconds of the first one. Flicked on back to his own goalkeeper there by Mason Holgate. Jordan Pickford launches it forward. Calvert-Lewin will chase it. Alisson's come out to deal with it. Fortunately for him, Naby Keita was the first man to that loose ball, because that certainly didn't look like an intentional pass. Here is Fabinho. Alexander-Arnold. Anthony Gordon for company. Matip back to Minamino. Calvert-Lewin chasing down Van Dijk. He's put in a real shift so far, Calvert-Lewin, for Everton. Maybe not had as much of the ball as he would have liked, but he's certainly shown an excellent work rate in this first period. Here's Joel Matip now.
Yeah, they're asking a lot from Calvert-Lewin, like we just said, from when Pickford picked up the ball, he tried to go long, looking for him to isolate him on that 1v1 with Van Dijk, but obviously not easy when the ball comes at that pace and bouncing or up in the air.
That's right. It's half time here at Goodison Park. It's Everton 0, Liverpool 0. A game of very few chances, but the best effort came from Richarlison when he broke through on that left-hand side. He drove his shot low and hard, but it was wide of Alisson's goal. It looked like Alisson got a slight touch to it, but it was always spinning sort of outwards anyway. It's half time at Goodison Park. We're going to take a short 2-minute break, and then we'll be back to answer some of your questions that you've been sending in throughout the first half. Don't go anywhere. Grab yourselves a drink, but don't go anywhere further than that. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Good evening and welcome back to Total Football Analysis's live coverage of the Premier League. It's Everton 0, Liverpool 0 so far at Goodison Park, and I'm joined by Daniele Proch. We're going to go through some of your questions that you've been sending us in throughout the halftime break and before that, of course. First of all, if you're watching us via any of the YouTube channels, please do head over to the Hot Mic app, download it with the promo code TFA2020, and that way you can sync our commentary with your television pictures for an alternative broadcast, a broadcast for the thinking football fan. It's Total Football Analysis. Follow us on Twitter as well at Total Analysis. And Daniele, how can people follow you on Twitter as well?
Yeah, so I have an account because I live in this world, guys. It will be at Proch Daniele. It's spelled Proch, and then Daniele will be Daniele.
Brilliant stuff. Do give Daniele a follow as well, as I'm sure he'll bring you lots of interesting tweets. If not, there's some pressure on him to start doing that from now on.
True.
Before we go to the questions, Daniele, what have you made of the first half overall? Your thoughts on how this game has played out so far?
Good organization by Everton because they were able to contain Liverpool pretty well. We only saw shot from Firmino, which went wide, and a shot from Minamino that got blocked. Everton has spent most of their time in their half with about 35 of possession, but Richarlison has been very active, and he created the best chance of the game so far in the first minutes of the game when he fired with his left foot, and Alisson was able to get his fingertips on it. But good approach from Everton. Honestly, they have to be cautious because they can't expose themselves to Liverpool, to the front players of Liverpool that are too fast and too good on the ball, and otherwise they will be able to hurt them like they did in the first leg, as you guys remember.
That's right. Let's go over to some of the questions that we've had sent through to us via the live chat feature. Don't forget you can do that during the second half as well. If you've got anything you want to ask Daniele, please put it in there and I'll make sure that I put them to him. Let's see what we've got here. Abdullah says, what do you gents think of the Liverpool front three today? What have you made of their performance? It's clear that Mo Salah isn't involved. Of course, he is on the substitutes bench. I think that they're noticeably less potent without Mo Salah in there. I don't know if I'm being harsh. Maybe it's because it's the first game back. Well, I guess the question is, what have you made of Minamino and how he's fitted into what Liverpool are trying to do?
The front three have been sloppier than usual. It's hard for Minamino because he has not played many games for Liverpool so far. He's trying to be active. Hasn't been completely clean with his touches. We'll see if he'll step up his game in the second half or if we'll see Salah coming in. The other two, Firmino and Mane, I like how Firmino keeps acting as a false nine. He drops in between lines and act as a playmaker for the front three. We have seen a couple of bursts from Mane, a couple of individual dribbles, but the front three need to link up more like we're used to seeing them.
Let's continue with some more of the questions. Abby says, are Liverpool going to win the league? I think it's pretty safe to say, my friend, that they are. I'm sure Daniele agrees with that one. Connor Hindley says, do you think there's a purposeful attempt by Liverpool to get Keita free in the half space?
Okay, interesting observation. Obviously, receiving the ball in the half space it can be very dangerous, but it is tough because the two lines of four of Everton are being very close and they are closing down those spaces. So for Keita to receive the ball in the half space, you have to have the passer who can see that space in advance, complete a quality and strong pass, and then Keita has to be positioned sideways with his body so that his first touch can be toward the goal, and that's when it becomes dangerous because then it's when he can attack the defensive line facing them and having options right and left, as well as the shooting option.
Great stuff. Let's go over to Jamie's question. Jamie says, Liverpool are clearly a strong team, but what should their priority be in the transfer window this summer?
Okay, you're already thinking about that. Interesting. The priorities, I would say that well, we just talked about how Milner played as a left fullback, so maybe get someone who can replace Robertson whenever he's not fit or suspended. So a left-footed left back, I would say. I don't know if they plan to intervene in the attacking for in terms of the attacking players. Um, and then I think that they're pretty solid. Klopp knows that whatever players um, he asks they are functional players. He doesn't just get whoever is the hottest player on the market. He gets players that he knows he can shape with his mentality. Um, so I don't know. I would say that the priority will be the left back, and
Yep.
then I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say more than that because I think it will require a little more of a detailed examination of
Yeah.
the roster.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you're absolutely right. It's clearly a position that, in terms of what Jurgen Klopp has at his disposal, he doesn't feel as though any of those, I guess, breaking through are quite ready just yet to take up that position, because I guess the fact that he turns to Milner kind of proves that, doesn't it? And of course, Joe Gomez is playing there now, and he's a centre back by trade. So it's clear that that is an area that they could do with adding a little bit more depth. Chris Mumford says, Daniele, how hard is it to settle long balls from goalkeepers' side volleys? How do you manage?
Sorry, say it again.
How hard is it to settle long balls from goal? I think what he's trying to say is, how hard is it
Okay.
to control a goalkeeper's sort of volleyed pass?
Yeah. So the first task is to understand where the ball is gonna land, right? Once you kind of take up that space, you're gonna worry about the direct marker. So if you're trying to put the ball down, you first want to get a hand on your defender, so that you prevent him from getting in front of you or on top of you. Obviously, it's hard when you have physical defenders like Van Dijk and Matip, but if you can keep him away, then you can allow for the ball to land on your chest or on your feet, and then you have to be strong in your legs to maintain that position once you've earned it.
Brilliant stuff. We're just approaching the second half. Not long now till we get back underway at Goodison Park. Don't forget, you can sign up to totalfootballanalysis.com for free, and you will receive 3 bits of content per month. And then you can make the decision as to whether you want to become a member of the site. There is lots of analytical content in there, lots of tactical analysis. It says it in the name, doesn't it? For you guys to enjoy. And it's now a weekly magazine. And to emphasize how far this magazine has come in such a short space of time, it's always been great. But when I first joined you guys, a couple of months ago, it was a monthly magazine. Then it was a fortnightly magazine, and now it is weekly. That is how much excellent content is being put together by the team so far. So please do check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and I'm sure you'll find it worth your time. We're almost ready to get back underway here at Goodison Park. We can see Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain receiving some instructions from the Liverpool coaching staff. No confirmation on any substitutions, though, just yet. Don't forget, if you're watching us via YouTube, you can head over to the app, sign up with a promo code TFA2020, and that way you will join us as a member, and you will never miss a broadcast because you will receive notifications every time we go live. If you don't follow us on the app already, make sure you do that too. Teams are back out on the pitch here, almost ready to get back underway. Daniele, are you expecting more of the same in terms of Liverpool dominating possession, Everton sort of sitting back behind the ball and trying to make it tough for their opponents?
Yeah, but I am expecting more from Liverpool at some point. Especially the front three players, they have to step up and risk more in terms of linking up, engaging defenders in 1v1s, because since Everton is very compact, you need individual geniuses to just turn the game around, get the first goal, and once they get the first goal, then Everton's gonna have to open up, and that's when we're probably gonna see more offensive plays on both sides.
Confirmation of the first substitution, or the second substitution after Joe Gomez come on, but it's the first substitution of the second half. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has replaced Takumi Minamino. We were talking about his performance. Obviously, he hasn't impressed Jurgen Klopp a great deal. I mean, we don't know if there's anything more to it, but it seems to me like Jurgen Klopp is looking for something a little bit more on that right-hand side.
Yeah, certainly. And I'm also thinking about Salah coming in. Then we're probably going to see Oxlade-Chamberlain drop into the midfield of three, and Salah taking his right wing position if he is going to come in.
Back with Jordan Pickford in the Everton goal now. For those of you using the manual sync feature, we're on the 45th minute and 51st second. Try and provide you with as many of those markers as I possibly can for those of you looking to sync it up without the app. If you need any more, please let me know in the live chat. If you tell me, I'll make sure I do it. If you don't tell me, I won't know that you need the help. So please feel free. There's a Liverpool player ball in behind for Oxlade-Chamberlain to chase. He got in front of Holgate there, but just lost his footing at the crucial moment. Alex in the comments says, I think we need Salah's width. I think that's a fair observation.
Yeah, with that left foot, if he can keep the field wide by maintaining that wide position, and that also allows him to drive inside at his will and allows for Alexander-Arnold to overlap him with his runs.
Here's Naby Keita in possession. Here's Joel Matip. Looked clear there by Mason Holgate. "47 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock for those asking. Seeing Martin Stecklenburg on the bench there. The Everton reserve goalkeeper this afternoon. This evening, I should say. So much daylight. It still feels like it's afternoon. Here comes Gomez coming down that left-hand side for Liverpool. Good challenge from Seamus Coleman. Gomez just running forward. They're galloping forward there as if he's not a centre-back by trade. Almost like a winger.
You don't see it very often, but a great defensive challenge by Coleman. He was in the box and he was sure about his sliding tackle. So great timing and great courage also by the Everton captain.
It's a corner for Jurgen Klopp's side. Virgil van Dijk is forward, as is Joel Matip. Delivered into the penalty area, right-footed. Jordan Pickford gets a fist to it. Lucas Digne will prevent it going out for a Liverpool throw, and he launches it forward towards Anthony Gordon, but he couldn't get the ball under control.
We mentioned how key it is to keep the ball and allow your team to come up the field, and in this case, Gordon wasn't quite able to do it, which puts Everton again under pressure from Liverpool.
Gone out for a goal kick. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain unable to keep it in. Everton with a short goal kick. Holgate launches it forward. When you're just going to roll the ball, a yard in front of you to your centre-back, it just... To me, it makes no sense as to why the goalkeeper just doesn't do that in the first place.
I was about to say the same thing. With this new rule, keepers can do that, but what's the point of it? At least keep your defenders a little apart from each other, so the keeper can become another passing option if the center back is under pressure. But in that case, if the keeper and the center back are basically occupying the same squared yard, then if the pressure comes from Liverpool, you can't pass the ball back because he's going to press both of you with just one run.
That's right. Great minds, Daniele? Coleman penalised for a foul there on Sadio Mane. He's not happy with the decision. In fact, he's furious with Mike Dean. Keita takes the... Well, I thought he was going to take the free kick quickly, but then he played it back to Gomez, who did exactly that. Here is Joel Matip now for Liverpool, stepping forward into an almost midfield role. Now he's taken up the position of a right winger. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold inside to Henderson. Back out to Matip. Sells Digne the dummy and then plays it inside to Keita. Lovely interchanging play between Keita and Firmino there. Keita dragged his shot wide. Good football from Liverpool though.
Yeah, that's what we were expecting to see in the second half. Liverpool linking up with one-touch, one-time plays like that. Firmino is always great at understanding who's around him and where to bounce back that ball. Great shot, but just too wide. We're seeing a lot of Liverpool defenders exploiting those offensive areas. We just saw Matip, and just before we saw Gomez in being tracked down by Coleman in Everton's box.
That's right. Here's Jordan Pickford. Plays it forward towards that left-hand side. Trent Alexander-Arnold lets the ball bounce. He'll take the throw in rather than trying to get the ball under control with Anthony Gordon in close proximity. It's Fabinho now under pressure from Andre Gomez. He's had a quiet game, hasn't he? Andre Gomez in the middle of the park for Carlo Ancelotti's side.
Yeah, they're especially defensively. I like how he's keeping his position, keeping composed. We'll see if he's gonna be able to keep up with it, because Liverpool is now speeding up their game.
They are indeed, and Andre Gomez is the type of player he'd prefer to be on the ball a lot more. He's having to do a very defensive role this evening, but needs must. All given Everton's way there. Much to Sadio Mane's disappointment.
Coleman is dealing well with Mane. Obviously, it's a very hard task, given the pace and the quality of Mane, but so far, doing well.
Here's Alex Iwobi, can't keep it in. Probably doesn't want to keep it in because his team have got themselves a throw-in on this near side. Gives them a momentary breather as well, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, when throw-ins, fouls, all these are opportunities for the team to catch a breath and organize, and also break up the tempo of the game, because that's what Liverpool is trying to do, speed it up. So Everton wants to counter that effect by slowing it down.
Mike Dean just telling Seamus Coleman to stop right there. Tried to steal a few yards there. The Irish defender. Good work there from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but the pass across the pitch was a loose one. Here's Sadio Mane coming down this left-hand side for Liverpool. He's got Coleman for company. Coleman's done really, really well again. He's managed to win himself, or his team, a goal kick. Challenge coming back off of Sadio Mane. Lovely flick on once again from Roberto Firmino. Dropping deep, doing what he does best and bringing other people into the game.
Wow, he started behind, and again, he's not afraid of making defensive interventions in the box. That's how confident he is, and that sends a great message to his teammates. He's not afraid of challenging those quality players that Liverpool have on front.
He's a player that, when he burst onto the scene, he was very highly rated, Seamus Coleman, but injuries have been a problem for him in the last couple of seasons. It's good to see him back and looking at somewhere near his best. Here's Joe Gomez. All across the penalty area. Holgate cuts it out, and then Coleman clears. Known for his ability to get forward in his younger days, Seamus Coleman, but he's showing that he can be really good right back from a defensive standpoint as well. Here's Firmino. Davis gets a foot in. Iwobi has Henderson putting him under pressure now. And he's won himself a goal kick. Alex Iwobi, of course, a big money signing last summer from Arsenal. Player who at times can be brilliant. Hasn't been able to find any level of consistency since arriving at Goodison Park.
Yeah, and today he has a tough job. He has to work a lot defensively because that's a priority for Everton today. So that could be a challenge when you get to the other side of the field. He may be not as brilliant on the ball because of all the defensive runs that he's had to make.
That's right. He's playing on the right-hand side of a midfield four. Very different job to being a winger in a front three as such. Liverpool have a throw-in on that far side. Roberto Firmino decides to leave it. Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to take it. In behind for Henderson. Can he keep this in? Hooks it across the penalty area. It's over Sadio Mane's head. And Iwobi just takes it out of Joe Gomez's path. He's not going to keep it in, Alex Iwobi. Sees a throw-in.
He was facing his own goal, so all he could do was just clear the ball because he had no idea what was coming from behind.
Safety first. Gotta be in those situations. Here's Alexander-Arnold. Looks to deliver into the penalty area. It's blocked at the near post there by Lucas Digne. Everton providing Gylfi Sigurdsson with some instructions. I think that would be a wise move from Carlo Ancelotti's side. They just need to get on the ball a little bit more. And when they do get it, they need to keep it. Otherwise, you can see fatigue creeping in. Liverpool slowly wearing them down.
That's a perfect man to keep the ball and to add quality to Everton's possession, and also I would say to add confidence to the players around him that Everton can play. Everton can be dangerous.
That's right. The second half has started with Liverpool very much in control. And Alexander-Arnold is going to deliver this corner. It's an outswinger, right-footed, towards Virgil van Dijk. Heads it down into the ground. It bounces up into the arms of Jordan Pickford, though. Here's Holgate. Back to Pickford, under pressure, short pass to Andre Gomez. Everton managed to maintain possession, but they're taking risks. Here's Lucas Digne on the left.
They got out very well there.
Yeah, they did. He did, absolutely. Would you say that Joe Gomez has given Liverpool a little bit more in the attacking sense at left back? I'm surprised because he is a centre back and Milner's a midfielder, so you'd have thought that Milner may have been a little bit more effective, but I think Joe Gomez has made some really interesting runs at the start of this second half.
You're right. I was surprised too, but he has been making some determined runs behind Everton's defensive line, and I was surprised too because you would expect him to kind of hold back and taking more of a defensive approach, but I guess he's interpreting the new position very well.
He is indeed. Henderson lays it off to Alexander-Arnold, delivers into the penalty area. Michael Keane gets a left boot to it, conceded a corner. Another corner for Liverpool. Pressure is mounting on Everton, although Liverpool haven't created anything clear-cut at the start of this second half.
Correct. They are there. They have been there since the beginning of the second half, but they, except for that that shot at the beginning of the half by Keita, we haven't seen real chances by Liverpool.
That's right. And Everton are going to make a substitution. Anthony Gordon being replaced by the experienced Gylfi Sigurdsson. Very talented and very experienced is Gylfi Sigurdsson. Not been very consistent this season, though. There's no doubt about that. Probably why he finds himself coming on from the bench. Keita's throw to Joe Gomez, looks up for picking out a diagonal pass to Trent Alexander-Arnold. That was some pass and some touch from Trent Alexander-Arnold, delivered by Henderson into the penalty area, cut out. Sigurdsson gets his first touch of the ball. Richarlison's been played in behind here for Everton. Richarlison from the angle fires it towards Alisson's goal, but it was a wild effort in the end from the Brazilian. Everton haven't had many of those opportunities. They've got to take them when they come. Difficult opportunity in the end for Richarlison under pressure from Gomez and Matip, who had gotten back, and the angle was closing, wasn't it, Daniele, with every second that he delayed striking the ball.
Yeah, great break by Everton, great pass by Calvert-Lewin, and when the ball is bouncing like that, many times you get to shoot very powerful shots, but he wasn't quite able to keep the ball down, and it went just in the stands.
Mike Dean has given Liverpool a free kick right on the edge of Everton's box there. He's pulled out a card as well, and the Everton players are not happy with that whatsoever. Just awaiting to see the replay to make a clear judgment on whether or not Mike Dean has got that right. We see Sadio Mane carrying the ball here. Lucas Digne comes across. Does his studs just graze the ball there, Daniele?
Oh, I think it is a foul. Mane was able to move the ball right before the tackle, and he wasn't complete. He didn't completely get.
He does get the ball,
hit, but he doesn't get the ball. Mane gets hit in his boot, and when you're running at that speed, even the minimal touch just makes you lose your balance, and so that's a fair free kick.
I thought he just got a little touch on the ball with the bottom of his studs there.
I think so. I thought that I saw Mane just moving the ball right before.
Not sure. Maybe we'll get another look at it. But it doesn't matter either way because Liverpool have the free kick anyway. Right on the edge of the D. A few yards from the D. It's almost a perfect distance in terms of allowing the taker some time to get the ball up and down. Often they can be too close, these free kicks, but Trent Alexander-Arnold is a set-piece specialist. He's standing over it. Henderson's there too.
I tend to side with the attacking players when it comes to to fouls.
And the free kick is struck when it's come off a Everton head in the wall, and Liverpool have a corner as a result. 62 minutes and 37 seconds on the clock for those of you using the manual synchronization feature. Like I said, if you need any more markers, just please do let me know.
He's raising two hands. We'll see what that means.
Delivered in by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Headed clear at the near post by Richarlison. Oxlade-Chamberlain got it down, and then Iwobi hooked it clear again. But Liverpool have possession once again with Joe Gomez just inside his own half. Lays it out to Naby Keita. Firmino's taken up a position on this left-hand side. Plays a ball in behind for Sadio Mane to come onto. Stands it up towards that far post. Oxlade-Chamberlain was coming in, and he's clattered in to the Everton defender there. I think it was Lucas Digne. Had to go for it, Oxlade-Chamberlain, but the chances of him getting there were very small.
Yeah, he was late, and that's a clear foul. Good positioning by Digne. Good clearance with his head.
Liverpool are preparing another change. It's Gini Wijnaldum who is getting ready. I'm sure he'll inject a little bit more energy and a little bit more industry into this Liverpool midfield.
Salah seems to be enjoying the game, but I think he's dying inside. I think he wants to come in.
He wants to get on the pitch, doesn't he? Interestingly, before today's game, Wijnaldum had started 97% of Liverpool's Premier League fixtures this season. So surprised not to see him in the team from the off today.
I think he will be key with his runs in the box. His timing is just amazing. So when Alexander-Arnold serves the ball in the box, I think he can be very dangerous.
Divock Origi's getting ready to come on as well. Doesn't score very often, Gini Wijnaldum, but when he does, they tend to be crucial goals as Naby Keita makes way for the Dutchman. That is the first change that Liverpool are making in this window. Roberto Firmino is the second player to be replaced by Divock Origi. And you spoke about Origi's impressive record in Merseyside derbies. Well, he's got an opportunity now to continue that.
Exactly, and you guys remember how dangerous, how lethal he was in the first leg when he scored 2 goals. So we'll see if he keeps up with this healthy habit of scoring against Everton.
There's one way to make yourself a fan favourite very quickly. Grab a couple of goals in a Merseyside derby. Here is Wijnaldum into Matip. Hesitates there before playing it to Henderson, who's taken up a position, as he does so often, on that right-hand side. Back with Alisson now. Liverpool have had 8 attempts at goal in comparison to Everton's 4. 67% of the possession for Jurgen Klopp's team. Alexander-Arnold hooks it back in towards the danger zone. Origi can't get it under control. Liverpool have it back again. Everton just don't have an outlet at the minute. Everything just seems to come straight back, doesn't it?
Yeah, they don't have an outlet, and I'm afraid that Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin are getting a little tired of running around and fighting with the structured center backs. So we'll see if Ancelotti plans a move for the next 25 minutes.
It's a difficult job at the best of times, but when you haven't played a game in 3 months, it's got to be tiring. Carlo Ancelotti looking as smooth as ever on the touchline.
His eyebrow raised, like always.
Yep. I don't think it goes down, does it?
We're seeing some good Italian defending in this game by Everton. You can see Ancelotti's touch for sure in terms of defensive organization and tactical awareness.
Something that the Italian game is renowned for. Here is Divock Origi. Now Joel Matip. Into Naby Keita, lays it off to Jordan Henderson. Gomez has come inside. Henderson to the ball out towards that right-hand side where Trent Alexander-Arnold had moved forward. Everton get it clear. Everton concede another throw in. Richarlison just smashing the ball away there in frustration. Or perhaps to try and delay Liverpool from taking the throw. But there's balls scattered all around the pitch now, isn't there? There's, of course, no ball boys in the stadium. And we're going to take a pause for the drinks break.
It was a good ball by Henderson, just under hit, just too slow. The idea was good, but and the run by Alexander-Arnold was timed correctly. It was just too slow. Otherwise, Alexander-Arnold would have been in a very dangerous position in the box.
That's right. Let's take a look at some of the other results that have occurred in the Premier League today as we enjoy this short pause. It's a drinks break, of course, something that's been introduced since the return of the Premier League. We're going to start with the game at St James's Park. It was Newcastle United 3, Sheffield United 0. Something of a shock when you look at the 2 seasons that the teams have had. Alan St-Maximin with the first one for Newcastle United before Matt Ritchie doubled their lead, and Joe Linton scored with 12 minutes to go. Joe Linton scored. Yes, I repeat that. Joe Linton has scored a goal in the Premier League, and it's big news. And it was you could see the relief on his face when he pulled away in celebration. So he certainly enjoyed that. Elsewhere, Chelsea came from behind to beat Aston Villa at Villa Park after Courtney House put the hosts in front. Christian Pulisic and Olivier Giroud with the goals for Frank Lampard's men. We prepare to get back underway. Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to take that throw-in on the right-hand side for Liverpool. Here's Van Dijk. Gomez. Back to Van Dijk. Lovely ball out to that right-hand side. Will Alexander-Arnold get there before Digne? He won't. Just gets a crucial left foot to it there, the Everton defender.
Digne and Coleman have been very diligent this game. They have always been punctual on their defensive interventions.
They have. They've been fantastic, the pair of them. Let's hope we haven't jinxed them with the curse of the commentator, as I so often do when covering games. Ball in towards Origi, takes it down with his left foot, but the touch was a loose one. Andre Gomez is able to shepherd the ball out of play, and Everton have a throw in now. Almost in line
Everton
with the penalty
has no
spot.
rush.
Yeah, they don't, do they? And why would they?
Exactly, have no rush. With resuming the game, they take all the time they need on these throw-ins, on fouls, and that just slows down the tempo of the game, which makes it harder for Liverpool to speed it up again.
And I know, obviously, getting a 0-0 draw is not the most glamorous of results, and you only get a point for a draw, etc. But it would be such a huge confidence boost, wouldn't it, for Carlo Ancelotti's side, having gone toe-to-toe with Liverpool, if they can see this out. Joel Matip's gone down with an injury. He's put the ball out himself. He's definitely pulled something there. You could see it immediately in his reaction. And this is another blow to Jurgen Klopp, who's already lost James Milner this evening.
And they have only one substitution left. So we're going to have to see, because if Matip has to leave the field for injury, we're probably not going to see Salah coming in unless Klopp restructures the formation so that someone takes up the role as in the defensive line, and Salah gets in to try to solve this game.
That's right. We've seen Origi, Wijnaldum, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Gomez come on already for Liverpool.
Ancelotti has only made one substitution. Only Sigurdsson has come on the pitch. I'm wondering if Carlo is planning to make other moves for the remaining 20 minutes.
Just seeing Dejan Lovren possibly getting ready there for Liverpool. If he has got any doubt whether he's pulled something or not, then it's probably best for them to get Joel Matip off and make that final change, because Everton are not offering a great deal in terms of attacking threat at this moment.
Exactly. Liverpool looks quite comfortable now in terms of controlling the game, but they have to be careful, because we saw before on that break when Calvert-Lewin assisted Richarlison. They are fast, they have pace and quality. So just one mistake defensively can cost the game. And if Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are clinical, then Liverpool can really get away with this game with a loss.
They are going to make the change. It's Joel Matip been replaced by Dejan Lovren, the Croatian, who's made no secret of the fact that he tried to leave Liverpool last summer in search of first-team football. He was kept at the club by Jurgen Klopp. Hasn't had much Premier League football this season, but he's on now as that ball's delivered towards the far post, and it will evade everybody and end up in Jordan Pickford's arms. "73 minutes and 34 seconds played here at Goodison Park. It's Everton 0, Liverpool 0. And if you're tuning in and wondering why I'm specifying the seconds as well, it's for those of you who are using the manual synchronization feature and wish to do so as accurately as possible. If you haven't already and you're watching us on YouTube, download the Hot Mic app and use the promo code TFA2020. That way you'll be able to join us for all future broadcasts, and you'll also be able to synchronize our commentary with your television pictures. What more do you want? An alternative soundtrack with which to enjoy your football. For the thinking football fan, it's Total Football Analysis. Here is Dejan Lovren in possession. Joe Gomez at left back. Daniele, if you had to guess, do you think we will see a breakthrough here this evening?
I wish. I kind of want to see some goals. I'm looking at the position of the two Everton strikers. They are not putting pressure on the center backs. They try to prevent the ball in for Fabinho, but they're kind of sit sitting deep with the rest of the team, visibly tired, I would say. Um, so if anything, I would expect some a goal from Liverpool thanks to the geniuses that they have on top.
Who knows? 15 minutes of normal time remaining here at Goodison Park. It's Everton 0, Liverpool 0. Gylfi Sigurdsson receives the ball and immediately he's got 3 Liverpool players around him. He's done really, really well to win his team a free kick there. That's
the quality we were talking about before. He was surrounded by 3 red jerseys, and he was still able to get away with a classy touch with the bottom of his foot and a draw foul for his team.
Here is Origi, lays it off to Wijnaldum, inside to Henderson. Alexander-Arnold back to Henderson, to Origi. Liverpool having plenty of possession. Everton proving stubborn opponents this evening, doing their utmost to delay Liverpool winning the Premier League title. Here's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, ball inside to Wijnaldum. Mike Dean just skips over the ball as it comes in his direction. Joe Gomez will just about keep this one on. Wasn't the greatest pass out to the man currently filling in at left back for Jurgen Klopp. Here's Van Dijk inside to Henderson. Outside of the boot, in towards the penalty area, headed clear by Coleman. Wijnaldum will pick it up for Liverpool. Crossfield ball towards Alexander-Arnold. Tried to touch it around Gylfi Sigurdsson, but him and Lucas Digne have worked it very well and get Everton up the pitch. Here's Dominic Calvert-Lewin holding the ball up for Everton. Digne had made a run on the outside beyond him. Must have taken a lot of energy at this point. But Everton have maintained possession here, and that's something they've not done enough in this second half to avoid it, to give themselves a breather, I'd say.
Exactly. Good work from Liverpool now. We just saw them keeping possession in the opponent's half. And we'll see if they can do that more often in the last minutes of the game.
So much more tiring chasing the ball, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think about the hard work when the ball's at your feet, but when you're chasing shadows. Lovely ball in behind here for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's through on goal here. The flag has gone up, but he had to finish it anyway because we've got VAR in play. So let's just see that again. We see the ball from Davis. Oh, he's just straight offside there, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think it was a pretty clear one. But as I said, nowadays, you've got to stick it in the back of the net because you never know what the VAR is going to find.
Absolutely. And that's what strikers have to do. Just finish it off, and then there is video review, so there is no complaints.
Proves to be an easy decision for the linesman in the end, but we've seen those kind of mistakes throughout our years of watching football, so you can never be entirely sure until you see the replay.
But with Liverpool keeping the defensive line high, that's how Everton can surprise them with quick passes forward, vertical passes, and they can try to put one of their strikers 1v1 with Alisson.
Been really impressed with Everton's defensive work up until now. Whatever happens from now on, they've done a really, really good job on Liverpool for 78 minutes or so. As I said, is the curse of the commentator going to come back once again? Happened to me twice.
We haven't seen really Liverpool creating 2v1s on the flanks, and that's because of the great work defensively by Everton, always able to double down on men and not being exposed to 1v1 or 2v1 situations.
Charlison puts it into the box. Calvert-Lewin flicks it towards goal. It's spilled by Alisson and driven in by Davis. It's off the post and then cleared by Virgil van Dijk. That's the closest anybody has come to scoring. What an opportunity for Everton. Brilliant work from Andre Gomez to release Richarlison on that left-hand side. He puts it into the box. Calvert-Lewin with a wonderful flick. Alisson with a good save. And then Davis is shot back across the goal. Comes cannoning off the post. Oh, how unlucky are Carlo Ancelotti's men there.
Great run by Calvert-Lewin, attacking the space in front of Van Dijk. taking him aback, and he was able to deflect it. Wasn't quite able to put power on it, but great run attack in that space, just on the near post.
Here we go with another opportunity for Everton. Calvert-Lewin again at the far post this time, after the ball was flicked on from the corner. And if they don't go on to hold out here, they'll be kicking themselves. Actually, if they do hold out, they'll be kicking themselves that they haven't won it. The closest anybody has come. Go ahead, mate. Sorry to cut you there.
No, I was just gonna say that Everton has had the clearest chances so far in the game, despite not having much of the possession.
Fabinho there, just leaving a bit on Andre Gomez, and it'll be in no rush, as you said earlier, to continue. We just see that corner again. Good delivery from Sigurdsson, flicked on towards that far post, and there was Dominic Calvert-Lewin trying to get on the end of it, trying to divert it goalwards. Pictures of Tim Cahill there in the stands, the former Everton man, just with his head in his hands.
He was probably thrown off by Fabinho's high leg. That's probably why he wasn't able to.
Here's Richarlison again. Inside the penalty area. Will he cut this back? He goes for goal himself, and it's a save from Alisson. Surely Richarlison's got to pick out a teammate there. It's all kicking off here at Goodison Park now. Here's Coleman. Everton have conceded a free kick, though. Surely there, Daniele, Richarlison's got to cut that back across the penalty area. He's done so well to escape Dejan Lovren there, who's probably fouled him in truth. And he looks up, and I think it was Alex Iwobi's arriving around the penalty spot now, and he just goes for goal when he should pull that back. What's your thoughts?
But look at the run, how he was able to get him behind. He was strong. He stood on his feet. Great cutback, and yeah, I agree. He should have looked for a teammate, but nonetheless, it was a great strike and a good save from a strong hand by Alisson.
Jordan Pickford having gathered that cross for Everton. You just get the feeling that if Richarlison sticks around, Carlo Ancelotti can turn him into a very, very effective footballer. Not that he isn't already, but he's certainly got a great coach there in the Italian.
Oh yeah, and we talked about how he's been doing also great defensive work with drawing fouls and putting pressure on Liverpool's defensive line. So great game by him so far.
Dejan Lovren will be hoping he doesn't have to deal with Richarlison running in behind him again between now and the end of the game. But Liverpool have a throw in on that far side. Mike Dean just pausing proceedings to go over and have a word with, looks like Jordan Henderson and Davis. A few words exchanged between the pair.
The three of them are having a laugh, so it seems that it's all good now.
Yeah, well, Mike Dean is known for his character as a referee, often accused of trying to be the centre of attention himself. But I thought he handled that situation pretty well. Credit where it's due. Ball in towards the Everton penalty area. Divock Origi's underneath it. It will run through to Lucas Digne. Under pressure from the Belgian forward. Holds off the challenge. But his clearance is deflected by Origi. And it's back with Liverpool. Here's Alexander-Arnold on the right. Another good challenge from Digne. Calvert-Lewin inside to Davis. Does well to just check back and escape the attentions of the two Liverpool midfielders that were chasing him there. Here's Seamus Coleman now on the right for Everton. I don't know. Did you catch the Champions League ties, Daniele, between Napoli and Liverpool? Sorry.
Yeah. It was I think a great game by Napoli when they have those three guys on top: Insigne, Mertens, and Cajon or / Milik. When they're on, they are very dangerous, and we saw that in that game.
Are you seeing any similarities into the way that Everton are defending to the way that Carlo Ancelotti's Napoli did?
Um, okay, that is a good question. I think that for sure we have the basic defending being applied in both games. You know, those little things like always being staying on your feet, not allow your defenders to go on 1v1s with those fast strikers that we said before. But like we said multiple times, Everton right now is also doing a great job at keeping the ball. We saw them progressing up the field, allows them to take a breath and maybe create something else in the last 5 minutes.
Origi there showing a yellow card for that challenge on Seamus Coleman, and you saw there Andre Gomez and Seamus Coleman really putting their bodies on the line for the cause and really, really working hard. It's been a great collective effort from this Everton side so far. The question is, can they hold on? Will they get their point in the Merseyside derby? Here's Virgil van Dijk. Back to Alisson. Former Roma goalkeeper, of course. Lovren's long pass forward towards Mane. Keane gets ahead to it, falls to Oxlade-Chamberlain. He thinks about the shot, instead goes to the right where he'll find Alexander-Arnold, who's won Liverpool another corner. Opportunity for Van Dijk to get forward. See him there wearing the number 4 shirt alongside Dejan Lovren, just slowly making their way into the penalty area. Liverpool's 5th corner of the game. 86 minutes on the clock, approaching the 87th. Delivered in by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Lovren's underneath it. Andre Gomez gets his body in the way, and eventually Michael Keane hooks it clear. Out for a Liverpool throw-in on this near side. Everton are preparing another change. Only their second one, and you can understand why Ancelotti hasn't necessarily wanted to disrupt the good work his team have been doing so far. But Alex Iwobi, the Nigerian, is going to make way for the Brazilian Bernard. Similar sort of player, Bernard, in that pretty technically gifted, and just give him fresh legs going into these last few minutes.
Yeah, and Bernard is the third best scorer for Everton. He's got 3 goals so far this campaign. But I do agree that Ancelotti did not want to disrupt that defensive balance that his side has shown to have so far in the game.
That's right. Game management so far has been spot on. Here's Fabinho. In towards Mane. Lovely ball around the corner. Wrong footing Davis. Henderson plays it out to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Looks to step inside. Here is Bernard with his first touch. Lays it off to Digne. Has got time to look up. There's a ball in the direction of Calvert-Lewin. And you can see Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison so far. They've targeted Dejan Lovren, haven't they? They've both been pulling out to that side because I guess they feel they'll get more joy out of him rather than Virgil van Dijk.
Correctly, and especially Richarlison, he realized that could be a center back to exploit, and so it's just going at him.
Here's Calvert-Lewin chasing down Van Dijk this time.
Great work by the 2 strikers of Everton again, running right and left to fight on these loose balls. But it's so important that they do it because they do not let the Liverpool center backs to have an easy life on the ball.
Right. Interestingly, it looks as though Richarlison's pulled out to the right-hand side and Bernard's just playing in that hole in between Calvert-Lewin and the midfield. Just take a look at it now. You'll see it as they shape up again. It looks like, am I right, that Richarlison's come out on this right-hand side?
Yeah, Richarlison took Iwobi's position on the right, and we have Bernard as a second striker just underneath Calvert-Lewin. But we see that Bernard is coming down on the pitch a lot, helping with the defensive work rather than staying up high.
Richarlison's gone down there after a committed challenge. against Jordan Henderson. He was just pointing to some stud marks on his shin. Oh, you can see it's ripped his sock. Such was the force of the challenge. Gone right through the sock of Richarlison. Moise Keane is preparing to come on for Everton. Former Juventus striker.
He's got speed. He's got power. That could be a threat for the stoppage time if Everton manages to play through balls behind Liverpool's defensive line. Keane can definitely attack those balls and be a threat.
Davies has given it away there, and Coleman is working back to retrieve it for his teammate. Gomez inside to Fabinho. To Henderson. Now Lovren. Alexander-Arnold. Everton, plenty of bodies behind the ball as they have had for most of the game. And they offer something on the counter-attack. Again, Davies, sloppy in possession in that area. You can't afford to do that. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain dances past a number of Everton players and he's won a team a free kick.
What a footwork by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Got past 3 players and now Liverpool have a great chance. I would say about 23, 24 meters from goal.
It's an angle that probably suits a left footer here, but Trent Alexander-Arnold is the normal set piece taker and he's very right-footed.
Also, I don't think that Liverpool have a left-footed player on the pitch right now.
No, they don't. That's a great point. Mm-hmm. With Andrew Robertson missing, they don't. Fabinho's placing the ball down here.
They may also consider a shot on the keeper's post.
Deep into stoppage time now. We're approaching the 92-minute mark. Fabinho will take it and it's tipped over the bar by Jordan Pickford. It's a good effort from the Brazilian. It was on target, but Jordan Pickford equal to it. Does well to get across his goal and get a fingertip to it. And you called it, Daniele, about them going for the keeper's near post.
Yeah, not too angle of a shot. So I would say that's a save that Pickford has to make.
Delivery comes into the box. Pickford gets his fists to it. I think the ball went out of play there, though, before it arrived at Jordan Pickford.
Well, that could be it. If Pickford's going to take his time here.
He most certainly is, isn't he? Who's been your man of the match, Daniele?
Wow. Has to be an Everton player. I think I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with Richarlison. Although I liked a lot the performance of the fullbacks, both Digne and Coleman. Yep. If you think about it, if we didn't see Mane dribbling a lot, that means that Coleman did a great job. Same thing for the other side with Minamino and Chamberlain. If they didn't get much success in 1v1s, that means that the fullbacks really were diligent in defending.
I think it's been an excellent performance from all of those players that you mentioned. For me, it's been Seamus Coleman. He's just been that standout performer for the Toffees this evening. He's worked extremely hard. And the full-time whistle's gone here at Goodison Park. It's Everton 0, Liverpool 0. Liverpool will have to wait that little bit longer for the Premier League crown. It means they cannot win it with Manchester City losing in their game midweek. So they'll have to wait a bit longer, but it's been a great spirited performance from Everton. There's no doubt about that. Liverpool will be frustrated, but Carlo Ancelotti will be delighted with his men. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining us via the Hot Mic app. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget, download the app with the promo code TFA2020. My thanks to Daniele Proch for joining me for the first time. Daniele, how have you enjoyed it?
I loved it, Harry. Thank you so much for having me on, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I would say great performance by Everton.
Great stuff. And I'm sure we'll have you on again very soon, my friend. Take care. Thank you to all our listeners once again. Don't forget to check out totalfootballanalysis.com, and we'll be back with more live football for you very soon. Stay tuned to our social media pages for updates on the games that we will be covering. So until next time, take care of yourselves. Have a good evening.